Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, this is a story we have covered in depth many times, but there is a new revelation coming out of it. And it's shocking, it's horrifying, but it goes to show the level of sheer inhumanity and corruption at the heart of the establishment and at the heart of the NHS, and in particular, of course, the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital in Glasgow. We've covered this in terms of the people, in terms of the building, the construction, the infection control. We've talked, of course, to many people involved, including builders and designers. We've had them on through various Zoom chats and things. And, of course, our dear friend Leslie Roberts has been on many times about this, as well as many other things, So we're all, I think, well versed in the entire story. So you'd think there wouldn't be much more that would come out and shock people. Well, I'm afraid to say there is. And I found this absolutely flabbergasting. Millie Mayne was a young girl. She was a 10-year-old. She had gone into the Queen Elizabeth with leukemia. And she was treated and she fought hard and she was in remission. Fantastic news. To have a child so ill and then to come through the other side and start getting well again. Kimberly, her mother, must have felt so much relief. And then the unbelievably tragic happened. And Millie caught an infection in the hospital. And then she died from that infection. Devastating, tragically devastating. And we've covered this story. Now, did the hospital know about infection? Were they doing nothing? Were they in any way complicit with Millie's death? Well, I think now we can say that the answer is absolutely. It's beyond question. Because the NHS chiefs in that hospital had meetings, several, plural, don't know how many, but several meetings about Millie Mayne, about her infection, about her chances, about the killer bug that she'd been infected with, weeks before her death. And where this is truly astonishing is they had these meetings where they were discussing Millie, her medical case, all about her. And they didn't tell Kimberly, her mother, that these meetings were taking place. They didn't invite Kimberly. They didn't give Kimberly notice. They didn't give Kimberly minutes of those meetings. Nothing. It was secretive. It was a cover-up. It was done so that nobody could be blamed. There is no accountability. Certainly, it smacks of evidence being hidden, evidence perhaps even being destroyed. It is a conspiracy. But this isn't one of those mad conspiracies like aliens or that JFK was shot by the CIA or anything like that. This is a genuine, real conspiracy. We know that. We've talked to everyone at every stage. The conspiracy here is not that it happened. It's that there was a conspiracy to silence it, to cover it up, and to hide the truths. Now, there was emergency meetings by these health chiefs about which infection hit which person, where did it come from, how could they cover this up. But they knew in advance because they'd been told by the builders while the building was being constructed that there was fungal infections, that there was infections in the waterways, that there was dead pigeons sitting in water tanks, there was dead pigeons in the air conditioning unit, the wrong steel was used, the wrong size ducts were used. All sorts of things was wrong with the construction stage. And they were being told as they were doing it. And the management did nothing to correct it or change it. They abnegated all responsibility. Like Pilate, they washed their hands and said, it's nothing to do with us. When, as managers, it most clearly is. Health and safety is the responsibility of everyone. And when the experts, the construction people, the contractors tell management about these things, which are clearly health and safety issues. These managers are at that moment obliged by law to deal with it. And the fact is, they did not. And people died. Children died. Millie Mayne died needlessly. And then the cover up begins. Then the conspiracy of silence, this let's not speak of this. Let's hope this goes away. Let's just pass out some platitudes of sadness and hope that everyone just disappears and never questions us. But people are questioning. Documents have been released by the Scottish Hospitals Inquiry. I bet they were hoping these documents would never see the light of day, but they have. And this shows that staff met to talk and discuss about Millie Mayne's infection at the QEUH in Glasgow. And this, as I say, was 6 weeks before this girl sadly died. Now, what they talked about was, where did the infection come from? How did it get to Millie? This whole sort of the audit trail, if you will, of how she got this infection and how then she was treated, and how the treatment basically didn't work. But of course, one of the side effects of leukemia treatment is the destruction almost entirely of the body's natural resistance. You have no immunity and things, so you're very, very vulnerable. And so, these places should be absolutely sterilely clean, but they weren't. And that's half of the problem. Contaminated water coming through contaminated, dirty pipes with fungal infections and botulinum and you name it, anything, Legionnaire's disease, all sorts of bloody things. And that is why Millie, died. But she wasn't alone. There were many other deaths, of course, from not just from that, from many different infections. And that is why this hospital, the entire board, need to be put up in court and tried and found guilty, because ultimately they are responsible. Now, they have been named in a corporate homicide investigation. Thank you, Leslie, again. She is a absolute gem, isn't she, Leslie? I mean, she pushes, and this woman needs to be recognised, I think, somehow, for the stalwart work she is doing. But this still remains that this happened, and Millie's family said that they couldn't comment because they're under court orders not to, but they were absolutely, I would imagine, although they can't comment, I would imagine they'd be absolutely devastated that this has come out, that they were having meetings and nobody told them. It just gets worse. I don't know if it can get any worse, but you know what? If it does, I don't think any of us would be surprised. Anyway, the story continues, and we shall keep monitoring it until eventually, hopefully, these people are doing a long time in prison. Thank you very much. Let me know what you think, and I will speak to you later. Bye.